It's taken me a long time to recover. Long time. I'm not the man I used to be. And then I have troubles round here. There's been so much stolen off me. I was looking after my mother because she had cancer. And a lot of my goods was there because I'd left somewhere to look after my mother, and I was never going to go back. So I was homeless. I had no home. I was living at my mother's. And my mother looked after me. And then she got this COVID-19. First one. It was passed on to me. But I survived. My mother didn't. But all my goods were stolen while I was in hospital. Gentoo broke into the house while I was... Gentoo broke into the house while I was in the hospital and stole off me all my beautiful clothes and other things that I'd, the little bits of stuff I could. And obviously I had builder's tools which was stored somewhere else and other things. They kindly have still got them. And then I have Christopher Robson coming, befriending me, even saying, Father, going as a father, a godfather. He stole so much of me. Refuses to bring back. We've all gone through this. So I've gone through all of this. And there's much more. There's so many stories of my past. I've been stolen off so many times. I've worked hard with my hands. I'm a stonemason. I've worked all over the country. All over the country. Building beautiful things. I had an apprenticeship with a firm. They were masons. I was taught by masons. Freemasons. My uncle and others of my family. Freemasons. I know everything. I know everything about the Freemasons. But I'm not a Freemason. I'm a much higher rank than a Freemason. The highest of highest ranks, the Freemasons. I know them. In the banking systems. In the building industries. I know what's going on. The hidden hand of Jebalin. Deals behind the scenes in the building industry. I know what's going on. Unless you have the mark, you will not be able to buy nor sell. Unless you're in the club. Unless you're in the club, you don't get on in your business, because this deal's done, that deal's done, that deal's done. The bigger the builder is, the more involved he has to get into this world. It all stems back to Babylon, Egypt. gets passed on even into God's people. Solomon, the Freemason. It all stems right back. I'm going to read you something, and now I'm going to get onto this. I might need a break. Solomon's Temple. Remember Solomon? He married someone out of his race. It wasn't a Jew. To please her, he built something beautiful for her. You know the tarot cards? You tarot readers, I'm going to give you a little bit of history. A little bit of history, yeah. You know there's major arcana in the tarot cards, 22. And the second one, the two pillars. Have you seen it? With a woman. Huh? Have you seen that one? She's got a headdress and the moon is at her feet. Tying in with Revelation 12. The woman with the 12 stars and the moon beneath her feet. The pillars of Boaz and Jacob. Boaz and Jacob. In this beautiful temple of Solomon. It was so incredible, this temple. A little bit of history. I'm going to give that tarot card. Yeah. You know which one it is, do you? You tarot readers. It's got two pillars. It's got two pillars. Representing, you'll see a B and a J. A B and a J. Boaz and Jacob. The pillars were named by Solomon himself. Why? See, the tarot readers, you may not understand the frequency, truly the frequency, within the tarot card, unless you've read this. In 1 Kings, chapter 7, this is what it says. Listen to this beautiful. I mean, I'm a stonemason, and I love the architecture. I would love to visit Jerusalem, Italy, and places like that. There's so much history, so much beauty in the craftsmanship of the stonemasonry. I love it. Are you interested? I've got a midgie. There's a midgie flying about. Right, here we go. Listen to the sizes. Solomon was given great wisdom. He knew the secrets of the universe. He knew all about gematria, the numbers, the sizes. I haven't got time to go into what it all represents. All I can do at this moment in time is read to you the dimensions and so forth, and what these pillars represent. Okay. Solomon's Palace Complex is what it says. Solomon, however, took 13 years to complete the construction of his entire palace. It was his palace as well. He built the house of the forest of Lebanon, 100 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. If you don't know what a cubit is, look it up. There are different people say different things. A cubit. The house was roofed with cedar above the beams that rested on the pillars. 45 beams, 15 per row. 15 per row. There were 3 rows of high windows facing one another in 3 tiers. All the doorways had rectangular frames with openings facing one another in 3 tiers. Solomon made his colonnade 50 cubits long and 30 cubits wide, with a porch, with a portico in front of it and a canopy with pillars in front of the portico. The pillars. In addition, he built a hall for the throne, the hall of justice, where he would judge. It was panelled with cedar from floor to ceiling. Can you imagine the smell as you walked into this place? Cedar wood. And the palace where Solomon would live, set further back, was of a similar construction. He also made a palace like this hall for Pharaoh's daughter, of whom he married. Pharaoh's daughter. So he copied what was built by Pharaoh and put it into his building construction, all for his wife. All these buildings were constructed with costly stones, costly, good quality stones, cut to size and trimmed with saws inside and out from the foundations to the eaves, and from the outside to the great courtyard. The foundations were laid with large, costly stones, some 10 cubits long and some 8 cubits long. Above these were high great stones, cut to size, and cedar beams. Can you see the beauty? Herod's temple was insignificant compared to Solomon's construction. This was an amazing construction. The great courtyard was surrounded by 3 rows of dressed stone and a row of timber cedar beams, as were the inner courtyard and the porticos of the house of the Lord. Now King Solomon sent to bring Human from Tyre. He was the son of a widow from the tribe of Naphtali, and his father was a man of Tyre, a craftsman in bronze. Human had great skills, understanding and knowledge of every kind of bronze work. So he came to King Solomon and carried out all his work. This man knew also of the gematria and what each of his artwork would represent. There's so much in it, I cannot cover it. I'm just going to read to you the beauty, the splendor, the magnificence of Solomon's temple. Verse 15. He cast 2 pillars of bronze. Bronze is made of tin and copper, which gives it that golden colour, like gold. He cast 2 pillars of bronze, each 18 cubits high and 12 cubits in circumference. He made 2 capitals. The capitals had to go on the top of the pillars of cast bronze to set on top of the pillars, each capital 5 cubits high. 5 cubits high. This was a massive pillar of great beauty. And when the light shone upon it, or in the darkness, when the torches of light all around were flickering, it created the most beautiful effect of anybody walking in to the doorway. It was incredible. For the cobbles on top of the pillars he made a network of lattice with wreaths of chain work, 7 for each capital. So 7 for each. A capital is what fits on top of a pillar. These were so beautiful. This man was an incredible artist with great wisdom and knowledge. Likewise, he made the pillars with 2 rows of pomegranates around each granating to cover each capital at top of the pillars. The capitals at the top of the pillars in the portico, the porch, were shaped like lilies, 4 cubits high. You know what a lily looks like? Imagine that in bronze. On the capitals of both pillars, just above the rounded projection next to the network, were the 200 pomegranates in rows encircling each capital. Wow! Wow! What beauty, what artwork, what an incredible man he was. Thus, he set up the pillars at the portico of the temple. The pillar to the south he named Jachin. The pillar to the north he named Boaz. And the top of the pillars was shaped like lilies. So the work of the pillars was completed. Should I go on further? Just one more verse. He also made the sea of cast metal. It was circular shape, measuring 10 cubits from the rim to rim, 5 cubits in height and 30 cubits in circumference. Below the rim, ornamental buds encircling it, 10 per cubit all the way around the sea, cast in 2 rows as part of the sea, all representing something. All representing something. Every single thing that he did. If you want to read the rest and see the glory of this temple, it's in 1 Kings chapter 7. Now then, Boaz and Jachin. These pillars, the beauty of Solomon's temple. What happened to these pillars? They were removed, melted down, destroyed. What happened to the temple? The temple also, this beautiful temple, where our Father's Spirit entered. There was a holy and a most holy. the most holy. All the measurements is there. Look and see. Half the size of the holy place. There's so much to say. But I need to get on with something else. You tarot readers. Let me see. Did I put it away? I'll have to look at it. Let me just type in. I've gone to the Bible Hub, okay? Or I could go to, let's go to Wikipedia. I've just typed in Boaz and Jacob. Let's go to the writings of Josephus. According to the 1st century Romano-Jewish scholar Josephus, Antiquities of the Jews, Jachin, or Jachin, it will establish the name on the pillars. Whether he put the name on the pillars is insignificant. What it means is he will establish. Stood on the right side of the portico of Solomon's temple, while Boaz, in him is strength. That's what it means. In him is strength. Stood to the left, and the two were made by the Canaanite craftsman named Haman, or Hiram, or Hiram. There's so much there, you can read it for yourself. And if I scroll down, it has the card, the High Priestess, and an explanation of what the card represents, with the moon beneath her feet and a crown, and she has a cross on her chest. What does the crown represent? Is it number 2? 2 pillars, Boaz and Jacob. So there's a little bit of history for you, tarot readers. That's what it means. Okay. I'm hungry. I've had very little to eat. I'm so hungry. Let me hear. Now, the temple has been destroyed. Now we have a temple in Jerusalem. There's no temple really. There's just the remnants left The foundation stones are still there. Because didn't Yeshua say, when he was showing all these buildings, not a stone will be left upon a stone and not be thrown down? And they were all shocked. How can that happen? You, a stonemason, don't you love this, Yeshua? And you're saying, this is what Father's going to do? It happened before, to a mightier, greater temple than before. That was destroyed. And now this one's going to be destroyed. It was a hard pill to swallow. They didn't like what was said, to be honest. But after Yeshua had experienced what he'd experienced in the temple, he threw the tables over, let the doves out, exposed the high priest, exposed the priests for what they really were. Cleansing the temple. He went in to cleanse the temple and came out and cast judgment upon that temple that was full of demon possessed, who were claiming to have the covenant relationship with our Father. And because Yeshua loved his Father so much, he said, Father, cleanse this temple. And he got killed because of sin. This temple will be destroyed. And in 3 days, it will be raised up. But they twisted what he said because he was on about his own temple. This temple, the human temple, in 3 days, it will be raised. And so it was. The evidence is on the Shroud of Turin. No one can deny. No one can deny the witness of my Father, who raised that temple back to life and gave it glory. Samson, he put his hand on the 2 pillars, like Yeshua, not literally. Yeshua did it and got rid of the temple in a different way by prophesying the destruction of Jerusalem's temple. Samson, give me strength to bring down this temple. And all came tumbling down. He lost his life just as Yeshua lost his life. The temple was no more. The temple was no more. But is that the end of it? No, of course not. Yeshua Father, the bride of Christ, what? Okay. The Masons, there is a Samson that is pushed